Alright, so I'm going to try and make a little bit of a video on basically what I do to clean cosmoline off. Sorry, it's early and I just woke up. So I wanted to do this outside. I hate shooting video inside. But it's like the coldest day of the year so far. It's like 7 degrees. I didn't even want to do it in my garage because it's just too cold down there. So, as you can hear one of my dogs going nuts over there for no reason. Basically, if you've never seen cosmoline here, let's see, just all that needs to come off. And the easiest way I found, because basically why I wanted to make this video was mainly just to talk about how I do it here. So what I'll do is I'll take it out of the stock. I'll take all the metal pieces down as far as I can take them. And then I'll fill this pot here. And you can see it's still grows from, cosmoline. I've used this pot many times. We'll use a big pot like this, and then what I'll do is I'll stick the ass end in here. Usually you can get it into past the front side. The main thing is getting a pot big enough to get it up past this here, because you want all that fucking submerged. And in this pot will just be boiling water, and I'll put a little bit of degreaser in it, whatever you have. I like to keep Simple Green on hand, like a lot of Simple Green. I don't just use it for gun stuff, I use it for other stuff. But if your wife has Simple Clean, or Mr. Clean, you can use Mr. Clean too. And whatever. Or you can just use water. You don't have to use anything, because basically the boiling water is gonna melt the cosmoline off. It's like I think cosmoline melts at like 130 degrees or something like that. But a little bit of a fun fact here. Apparently cosmoline was made in like the 1800s, and it was, I guess they used to use it to like magically heal people. You know how they used to do that dumb shit back in the day. Interestingly enough, I learned that in another video. But I'm not gonna do a disassembly on camera. It's just I'm not set up for that. I mean, I could set it. Alright, so we got it broke down here, and you can, if you've never taken one of these down, you can see all the grease and stuff, and that's why you got to get it out of the stock and everything. So basically what I'll do is I'll take all these. I don't take anything else down. This is as far as it goes down. Oh, I'll pull the bolt apart from the carrier. I don't take that spring out, or I don't take that spring off of the recoil guide. I just throw it all in just like that. I don't take this apart. I just throw it all in just like that. Now, I've been cleaning cosmoline off guns a long time, and Mosin and Gans bolt action rifles are much easier than semi-automatics, just because there's less parts to clean. So basically what I'll do is I'll get my pot of boiling water boiling. Now, if you're going to use the water boiling method, you're best to start the boiling water before you even set any of this stuff up, because it takes like a half hour to get boiling. At least mine does, because I have an electric stove. So, and that's a big pot. But basically I'll stick everything, I'll stick the ass end in here, and I'll get it up, I don't know, it'll probably go up to here, maybe here, I'm not sure, wherever it'll go to. And it'll melt everything in there, melt all that crap in there. And then what I'll do is I'll take it out, I'll leave it in there for, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes, maybe half hour. Sometimes I'll watch a movie or something while I'm doing this and I just get sidetracked. I just leave it in there for a while. It's not gonna hurt anything. And the same with the magazine, all these parts. But then what I'll do is I'll take this out and I'll flip it, and I'll stick this end in and get all the cosmoline off the bayonet. I'll fold the bayonet and I'll stick, as far as I can in. And then I also have this little thing here, and what I'll do with this is I'll fill this with boiling water. I'll go outside and I'll dump hot boiling water down the barrel, and it'll melt the cosmoline that's in there. What I might do is I've also taken patches and just ran them through, and you get like these tubes of, it looks like a grease gun pumping grease out of the barrel. But you're still going to need to run some hot water down the barrel. Now when this is in the porta pot of boiling water, you'll get steam and mist, and that'll go up the barrel and in through there, and it'll help clean all that out. Now my main what I wanted to discuss here was, I see a lot of guys using mineral spirits, and I can't help but to think, no matter what you do, I guess it's going to take a while. It doesn't matter if you use this method or the other method. I can't help but to think that other method, it just costs too much. I feel like it would take more time, but maybe it wouldn't, because you're not waiting for about a pot of boiling water to boil. So maybe it wouldn't take that much longer. I just would hate to get in here under the sight ladder, you know, in here, in all that, and get all that out. I mean, that would just be such a pain in the ass, I think. And same with getting in there and getting all that out. I just feel like the pot of boiling water gets into, it's almost like an ultrasonic cleaner. Now I have an ultrasonic cleaner. I'm not putting this in my ultrasonic cleaner because I don't want to get my ultrasonic cleaner all gummed up, which will happen. And it doesn't matter, you can clean it all you want, the pot's basically destroyed after you do this. I have a pot that I use for cosmoline and cosmoline only. And then, so this has a piece of wood on it. You can take that down. I've tried long time ago to beat the wood off, to get the wood off, beat that pin out. I've never been able to do it. So I don't put that in boiling water. What I'll do is I'll just take my heat gun here. You need a heat gun. Take my heat gun and I'll just warm that whole thing up, and I'll get in there with patches, and that does take a little bit. And then the stock here, you put the heat gun on low heat. You don't need, I've learned, you know, by mistake, I've accidentally cooked a couple stocks that are on Mosin and Gans by putting it on high heat and holding it too close. Just need a little bit of heat to get in there, and it'll bring the cosmoline up. I'll probably hit this with degreaser first, and then go back over it with the heat gun. And there's tons, I'm sure there's tons of, there's probably tons of, yeah, see, there's tons of cosmoline in the channel and stuff. And you can put this over your pot, the stock, and let the steam get to it, and it'll take all of it off. The problem is it also takes your finish off. So unless you're planning on refinishing a stock, plus I don't think that's probably not very good for the wood to get all that moisture. But need a heat gun. I mean, this was like 25 bucks at Ace Hardware. I bought this years ago. This is just like a cheap heat gun, and dude, this thing does more than enough. I love that thing. It was the best like $25-$30 investment I've ever made for cleaning cosmoline off guns. Now the other thing you could do, if you didn't want to use mineral spirits and you didn't want to use boiling water, I actually just thought of this. What you could do is just take the heat gun and just fucking heat everything up with the heat gun, just like this. Or you wouldn't want to do it on this here plastic, because you'll melt it. So maybe do it outside. I also see guys that always talk about, they'll take their stocks and they'll stick them in a black trash, but I'm sorry, a black trash bag, and they'll stick it outside. Does that method really work? Like, how long does that take? I feel like that's kind of ineffective. I've never done it, and I don't want to criticize anyone's way of doing it, if that's the way you do it. Because, like, I'm really passionate about doing it this way. I've done it this way my whole life. Well, my whole life, as long as I've been cleaning surplus, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys that are passionate about their way as well. So I definitely don't want to knock anyone's way of doing things. But once this is cleaned up, I'll probably take a picture of it, you know, and put it in, or maybe some video of it quick. But this is basically going to end the video. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is whenever you pull these parts out of the boiling hot water, leave them in as long as you want. You're going to have to put it on some kind of towel or something. They're going to be too hot to touch. I use these here. You need something long that's going to be able to reach down in the bottom of the boiling pot to be able to get, like these little pieces here are going to be down at the bottom. You're going to need to pull those out. And they're going to be hot. But once they cool down, it's going to take 99% off. And while the parts are still hot, you're going to want to wipe off what didn't come off in the boiling pot. Oh, and then immediately, this is like the only thing I use this for. I cannot stand rim oil. I don't know why. I just don't like it. But it does do a good job at you know, it does a good job at preserving the metal, like not letting rust on. I just feel like as far as lubricating a firearm, I just feel like this doesn't do it. I really like CLP. CLP is a little thicker. I just like it better. But this really does for protection. What I'll do is I'll take everything outside and I will spray the ever-loving piss out of the barreled action everywhere. You want everything. It doesn't matter if it's soaking wet, and it's dripping by the time I'm done. And then I'll let it sit and I'll wipe all the excess. I'll let it sit for a little bit, soak up, and then I'll wipe the excess off and I'll reassemble it. But when you pull this out of the boiling hot water, you're gonna need to put something on it so it doesn't. Okay, so got my workstation cleaned up a little bit. These are the parts just out of, you know, the boiling hot water. I did nothing else to them yet. Just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. I mean, look at this recoil spring. You could put that in the gun and run it right now. You didn't have to do anything else to it. I mean, these parts, I mean, that's crazy. There's a little bit of cosmoline in that piston yet. But I mean, look at this. That's, I mean, and I didn't do anything to this. I just dropped this stuff in a pot of boiling water and that was it. I mean, you got down in there, that's all cleaned out. I didn't even take this apart. People freak out about the firing pin. It's free floating. You just heard it click. Now it needs some lube. But you know, it's good. I didn't have to take that apart. I may, we'll see, because it kind of, yeah, see, there it goes. So I didn't put this stuff in pot boiling water. I should have, but I didn't. So you see there's a little bit of cosmoline left in the goop on that. That's no problem. Now what I did, whenever I was done with the pot, I took it outside, took this outside, the barreled action, and I basically poured the pot of water. You know, I used a smaller funnel thing, and I just poured it hot, steaming hot water all down in through the barrel, through that top piston extension hole, you know, everything through the bayonet, because the pot didn't cover from like right here to here, and pouring the boiling hot water, I mean, so you wouldn't even have to, you just have to dip this stuff in pot of boiling water because it doesn't take long. I mean, I just poured it over and it got rid of, this was still caked in cosmoline. It's basically gone now. You know, and I'll swab the bore, clean everything needs cleaned, everything needs oiled, wiped down still, and there may be a couple spots of cosmoline somewhere, but you could take this gun and put it together and run it without, you know, just a little bit of lube and it would run, you know. So check the stock out here. You know, this is cool. I found a stock cartouche there. It's a triangle with a 6 or something in it. But the stock looks real nice too. I mean, I think it does. My camera's about to die. I gotta charge it. But you'll never get all the cosmoline out of the stocks. It's just, it is what it is. This thing is a pain in the ass. This actually, I mean, there's tons of cosmoline up there. I did try to take that thing off there to get the wood handguard off. I can't do it. I'm not gonna sit and waste time doing it. As long as the internals are cleaned, you know, that shit will come out over time with shooting it. Not a big deal. So I'm gonna turn my camera off now. I gotta charge it quick. I will get this cleaned, finish cleaning this up, put it back together, and then I'll maybe make an ending result of like what it looks like. So, and then this is the end result here. Everything's cleaned up, good to go. And like I said, I mean, doing it like this, minimal effort on my end. Literally just goes in the pot, and then I wipe everything down, take everything outside, spray it down, and spray it down with some kind of gun lubricant, whatever you want. I use rum oil just because it's easy. Excuse my tab, that's what I use to clean all my guns on, so you can see all the markings there. Stock came out nice, I think. There's that 26 triangle, or that 6 triangle. I did look this up a little bit, and I believe this to be a 1969, 1972, somewhere around there. And I knew it was a newer or not as old gun for a couple reasons. One has a stamped trigger guard here. That's definitely a later feature. Also in 65, they moved the sling swivel from here to here. It was 65 or 66, somewhere around that. So, but I mean, I definitely think it's been used. To see this here, this looks like something that is on some of the Garands where the soldiers tap their end blocks against the stock to straighten all the bullets out. That's what that looks like. Well, obviously they didn't have end blocks, they had stripper clips, but either way, let's see here once. I apologize, this probably isn't my highest quality video ever, but it isn't quite as much finish wear as I thought there was going to be. Definitely not as bad as those Royal Tiger import guns by any stretch of the imagination. So, but that's how I clean all the cosmoline off, and hope maybe you learned something, and if you didn't, hope you still enjoyed the somewhat crappy video. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you later.